sometimes when you learn a melody to a song the right way and you play through it, you may find that it doesn't really feel as cool or as persuasive as you thought it was going to. And a lot of that comes down to rhythm, what kind of phrasing you use to play the melody. In this lesson, I want to show you one simple thing you can do to take a basic, accurate melody and turn it into something that sounds a lot better. I'm going to be using the first few bars of the melody to How Long Blues to demonstrate this idea. How Long Blues is an 8-bar blues created in 1928 by Leroy Carr and Scrapper Blackwell. And if you would like to get a tab for the arrangement that I played at the beginning of this lesson, that is now available inside my membership, the Fingerstyle 5, which you can learn more about at fretboardconfidential.com. So you could play a tune like How Long Blues using basically an 8th note feel, like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1. And if you combine that with the steady bass, the thumb is going to be playing quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the fingers are going to be playing 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 8th notes, right? So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. And you might also notice that all of these phrases, each little bit of the melody, is starting near the end of one measure and landing at the beginning of the next measure. So starting on, say, the and of 3, and then landing on the 1 of the next measure. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1 and 2 and 3. So it does this very important phrasing thing, which is to lead you from, well, I guess you're going this way, to lead you from one bar into the next and create this satisfying landing point when you get there, which is all very well and good. But if we want to create even more momentum, we can anticipate that landing point by getting there just before the thumb does, on the end of the 4th beat. And we can do that by changing the basic rhythm of the melody from 8th notes to triplets. So instead of counting 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, we can count 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and And we're not going to use the triplets all the time, but we're going to use them at the end of the phrase. So instead of playing 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, we can play 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and using that triplet feel, right? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and we can apply that to the next phrase too. And 4 and 1, 2, 3. And that can be really effective because it creates even more momentum. You're expecting to get to that downbeat. If the melody gets there a little bit early, it kind of pulls you forward into the next measure. So in each case, ending the phrase with that little da-da-da, the little 4 and then the bass lands. Now a really simple exercise to get those two different rhythms under your fingers is to get the bass going. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then get the ring finger going on the high string. First doing pinches, so just playing a high note along with the thumb. Just so you can line those up. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then add in another ring finger note in between every downbeat. So on all of the ands. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And after that, try playing 1 and So a pinch and then the triplet rhythm afterwards. So 1 and with 2 notes after the pinch with the ring finger. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And then if you really want to get fancy, you can switch between eighth notes and triplets. So say 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And that will give your right hand, or left hand if you're left-handed, it'll give your picking hand the kind of accuracy and training that it needs to be able to do this while you're also playing a melody. And from there, you can do whatever you want with the tune. This will work on a very bare bones level where you're just playing a very simple steady bass and a melody with just single notes on top. Or you can start to add double stops and little 3-note chords to support the melody, maybe some bass notes in between when the melody's at rest, and get something like this, still using the same basic rhythmic concept. So it's just a matter of building on the rhythmic structure that you set up at the beginning. So that's the idea. A tune like How Long Blues can sound complicated when you hear someone playing a finished arrangement of the song, but learning to play songs like that is really a matter of starting with the bones of the tune. What is the thumb doing to play the basic steady bass? What is the single note melody doing? And what are some simple steps you can take to start to get that picking hand coordination together so that the thumb keeps going even when you start to play a melody? That's just a matter of breaking the tune down into the bass line and the melody and working slowly to put those two things together measure by measure. There are specific exercises you can do, like the one I just demonstrated, to help you gain that kind of coordination so that when you do go to add in things like chord substitutions or double stops or bass lines, you're building it on this very simple but strong framework that will allow you to add in all those complicated things once you know the basic song. If you'd like to start learning tunes that way, my Fingerstyle 5 membership includes the tab for the kinds of exercises I've been demonstrating here today, as well as tab for the complete arrangement of the tune that I played at the start of the lesson, along with dozens of other traditional and contemporary blues tunes that you can learn. If you want to find out more about that, just go to fretboardconfidential.com to check it out. In the meantime, if you've got a question or a comment about today's lesson, please leave it down below. I would love to hear from you. And as always, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.